You think the most expensive thing right now is AI models. It isn't. The most expensive thing is actually those tokens you just can't bear to burn. These days, not many people still meet you and ask, "So, how many people does your company have?" Honestly, that question is already starting to smell a little like the previous era. It's like asking whether the 13 people at Instagram when it got acquired, or the 55 people at WhatsApp back then, or the roughly 40 people at Mojang, really counted as a serious company. Not to mention Midjourney, with fewer than 100 employees, yet reportedly pushing past $200 million in annualized revenue. The old world worshipped headcount. The new AI world stares at leverage. What's even harsher is that this is not just luck from a few legendary stories. Right now, 88% of organizations have routinely inserted AI into at least one business function. 23% of organizations have already scaled agents somewhere inside the company. Another 39% are trying, which means the quietest employee in the office might not be a person at all, but a pile of invisible workflows, scripts, models, and automations. But most people are still stuck in a pretty ridiculous place. They treat AI like someone to chat with. The people actually making money already treat it like a cyber employee, a digital serf. That sounds ugly. Reality sounds uglier. There's an old saying that's brutally direct. Everyone has a little dream of becoming a petty boss, and every boss wants a servant who obeys like a dog. If I translate that into something more civilized, it means almost every knowledge worker will eventually become a manager of AI. TechCrunch even said it directly. Every employee will become a person who manages AIs. The problem is, a lot of people want to be bosses, but they're trying to run an empire with an intern budget. They'll obsess over API costs of a few $dozen. They'll route between different models. They'll compare prompts the way people compare prices in a grocery store, calculating which sentence is cheaper. It sounds rational. Actually, it looks a lot like poor people's thinking, not because saving money is a sin, but because you're staring at the wrong ledger. The old ledger asked, how much does each million tokens cost? The new ledger asks, how many results, how much time, and how much revenue did this round of tokens buy back? Over the past year, the average cost per million tokens dropped from about $10 to $2.5. But single task consumption jumped from around 2,000 tokens to 50,000, or even 500,000. That means throughput exploded by 25 times to 250 times. This is the key. The unit price of intelligence is falling. But the amount of intelligence consumed by each result is rising even faster. So if you're still trying to save tokens today, you're like a factory owner who refuses to turn on the machines because the electric bill hurts too much. What you save is pocket change. What you lose is production capacity. Artifact even disclosed a crazy phenomenon. Some heavy reasoning users pay just $200 a month for a subscription, yet burn through more than $35,000 in compute costs, equal to a subsidy of 175 times. Why do platforms still let you burn that much? Because they're betting you'll get addicted through habit, locked into workflows, and never be able to go back. And a lot of tasks really can already run independently. Not a demo. Not a PPT. In Anthropic statistics on real workflows, tasks that large models could theoretically complete independently accounted for 68% of usage. Tasks that were truly completely infeasible accounted for only 3%. Jobs like programmers and data entry have shockingly high exposure. MIT also pointed out an important reversal. Not every job can be cheaply replaced. In visually related wages, currently only about 23% truly meet the conditions for economically viable replacement. What is cheap is not replacing a whole person. What is cheap is AI swallowing huge amounts of standardized execution work. That explains a wealth transfer already underway. Money is not flowing from humanity as a whole to machines. Money is flowing from white-collar middle layers and outsourced teams responsible for execution, coordination, reporting, carrying things around, and organizing things, toward a small number of people who can define tasks, orchestrate agents, and control distribution entry points. You can call this a one-person empire. One person does not literally mean just one biological employee left. It means one person with a group of digital workers that never sleep, never need benefits, never complain, and can be copied infinitely. Someone in the source material did a brutally revealing calculation. If one model runs at 100 tokens per second for one straight hour, the cost is about $1. Then $10,000 is enough to keep 4 AI agents running for a full year. Even if you cut that speed in half to be more conservative, costs will keep falling. Compared with a real human intern, once bosses learn to do this math, the air around many jobs is going to get colder. But that's just the appetizer. What really makes the situation spiral is not that AI is powerful. It's that, A, I got cheaper, and cheap in the way manufacturing gets cheap. That is the second layer of perspective. In the past, a lot of Western companies sold mythology. High IQ, high valuations, high margins. Talk about AGI. Talk about the future. Talk about destiny. On the other side, a different group of players was doing something far less romantic. They were crushing costs, optimizing inference, building models the way you build home appliances, and in the end turning tokens into a standardized industrial commodity. China, on the far side of the planet, has forcibly turned AI into manufacturing. It sounds like a joke, but the destructive power in that sentence is something you probably still haven't looked into. Look at the price shockwave coming from a manufacturing nation. In 2024, Alibaba cut the prices of some Tongyi models by as much as 97%. Qianlong dropped from 0.02 yuan per thousand tokens to 0.0005 yuan. Baidu then made Ernie Speed and Ernie Lite free for enterprise users. ByteDance's Dubao, according to Reuters, priced its main model 99.3% below the industry average. DeepSeek V2 once drove pricing down to just 1 yuan renminbi per million tokens. Right now, DeepSeek's official current pricing is $0.028 for cached input hits, $0.28 for uncached input, and $0.42 for output. Run 100 million input tokens plus 100 million output tokens, and a Chinese AI at the DeepSeek level costs about $70. Something like Qwen can be around $31.6. Meanwhile, a high-priced closed-source root could cost $1,750. That gap is not 20%. It is 25 times to 55 times. This is not a normal price war. This is the shockwave of AI manufacturing. Once tokens enter this price range, a lot of things that used to be built only as showroom demos with premium intelligence get dragged directly onto the assembly line. Video generation will be like that. Office automation will be like that. Coding, even more so. And honestly, this part is already being said out loud in a very naked way. Before, everyone was still talking and making virtual companionship. Now a lot of people already think the chat box is disgusting. What they want is one computer, a pile of tools, and one command that gets the task done directly. So you'll see bizarre things happening at the same time. On one side, model prices are smashing into the floor. On the other side, revenue is shooting into the sky. Cursor doubled its ARR in just 3 months, jumping from the $1 billion range to the $2 billion range. Claude's coding business also kept climbing in a short period of time. Not because a new batch of people on Earth suddenly fell in love with chatting more. It's because the interaction paradigm seems to be changing. People are no longer paying with the logic of, keep me company for a while. They're burning tokens with the logic of, help me get this done. Task-based consumption is naturally more brutal than emotion-based consumption. If you ask it to write one line of copy, it eats a little token usage. If you ask it to break down tasks, call tools, read code, open threads, connect environments, run debugging, roll back errors, and keep executing, then it becomes a completely different animal. It used to be one text message. Now it's a construction crew. That's also why a lot of people, the first time they really install OpenClaw and use it for a while, suddenly get as tired as if they'd become a boss. Because you finally realize the question is no longer, can AI answer me? It's can I keep giving it a non-stop stream of work? That is management. And it is also what most knowledge workers in the future will have to learn. And a lot of people will fall behind right here, not because they're stupid. It's because they still want to wait. Wait for more mature products. Wait for more foolproof interfaces. Wait for prices to get a little lower. Wait for other people to prove it can really make money. It all sounds prudent. The problem is, windows of opportunity were never made for the most prudent people. Among Americans aged 18 to 64, by August 2024, nearly 40% had already used generative AI to some degree. It took only about 2 years for AI to reach nearly 40% adoption. The internet took 5 years. The personal computer took 12 years. The World Economic Forum puts it even more directly. By 2030, 59 out of every 100 workers will need retraining. 86% of employers expect AI to transform business before 2030. AI will create 11 million jobs while replacing 9 million. What does that mean? It means you can call it a bubble. You can laugh at the people who get up in the middle of the night to download a new model like they're crazy. No problem. Of course there may be a bubble. Of course FOMO is real. Mac Mini selling out because of OpenClaw, paid in-home installation, people just trying to grab onto something. Yes, all of that seems wildly irrational. But economic prosperity has never run on pure rationality. What really matters is that once you step in, you are never again the version of yourself that does not need AI. You start to develop a sense for data centers. You start to understand why a machine that's always online is valuable. Why local deployment is not just about saving money, but about buying yourself the right to make unlimited mistakes. Why being 40 or 50 years old is still absolutely not too late. AARP has some interesting data. Among workers over 50, the growth in putting AI skills on a resume rose 25% over the past 5 years, nearly twice the growth rate of younger people. PwC says it even more harshly. AI skills can bring a 56% wage premium. And right now, the people deciding how AI gets used inside organizations are often the ones over 40, because they understand processes, understand business, and understand where power should be plugged in. So the barrier is not, can you write the hardest core code? The barrier is whether you dare to move yourself into this new ledger. The old world asks how many employees you have. The new world asks how many orchestratable agents you have, how many stable workflows you have, how many cheap and reliable tokens you have, how much trial and error freedom you have, and how much demand you are capable of swallowing. That brings us to the final layer of perspective. On the surface, AI's wealth transfer looks like a technology upgrade. Deep down, it is a rewrite of power. Companies used to use headcount as a show of strength. In the future, headcount may become a burden. It used to be about who could hire the fastest. In the future, it will be about who can break down tasks more precisely, who can combine models more aggressively, who can put expensive intelligence in the definition layer, put cheap tokens in the execution layer, and then compress the whole process into a money printing machine the way you assemble a legion. One-person empire may not bloom everywhere this year. But the narrative that headcount symbolizes strength has already begun to die. And the most dangerous part is that this transfer will not happen evenly. It will be extremely biased. The winners will be a minority. The people who hold product definition power, distribution channels, and automation orchestration capability. The losers will not be the people who cannot use AI at all. The losers will be the kind of people who know a little bit, but keep saving tokens forever, keep using it only for advanced automation forever, and never dare to hand over authority to agents, because they are the ones who most resemble people still doing addition on the old continent. The people on the new continent have already started doing replication. I'm Tsui. Follow my teaching channel for specific AI technical tutorials, and if you want to learn about monetizing AI, join my Patreon. Let me end with one uncomfortable question. If starting tonight, you really gave a digital assistant that never sleeps, 24 hours a day, the highest level of authority, and let it handle your email, reply to messages, revise copy, run spreadsheets, find clients, write code, make videos, and even help you make money, then what is the very first thing you would be most afraid it would mess up? Leave the scenario you fear crashing and burning the most in the comments.